Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Baroness James. In 1920, Agatha Christie published The Mysterious Affair at Styles, an event that might be described as the birth of an English crime fiction tradition. There was another important birthday in 1920. On the 3rd of August of that year, Phyllis Dorothy James came into the world. I like the idea that P.D. James and the English mystery tradition are exact contemporaries. It feels fitting. Every generation of crime writers produces a handful who stand head and shoulders above the rest of their cohort. P.D. James is one of those giants whose shoulders we all stand on, whether we know it or not. Before she became a published writer, she worked in the civil service, developing an understanding of the bureaucracies that underpin life in the UK, particularly in the health service and the criminal justice system. At the same time, she was supporting her 2 growing daughters and an ailing husband, and yet she still found time to write. There's a lesson for everyone in the room who says, "I want to write, but I don't have time." Her first novel, Cover Her Face, featuring the investigator and poet Adam Dalgleish of New Scotland Yard, named after a teacher at Cambridge High School, was published in 1962. On the surface, it sits within the English cosy tradition, but even this early in her career, Phyllis demonstrated an adeptness at revealing the unsettling undercurrents that swirl beneath the surface of apparently conventional life, bringing this essentially country house mystery to a shocking and devastating conclusion. Already she was demonstrating that, far from being as cosy as the surface appears, she's a writer who's edgy, twisted, and sometimes terrifying. If you doubt me, go and read A Shroud for a Nightingale and tell me it doesn't freak you out. That was the first of 14 novels to feature Adam Dalgleish. Most of them are set in various closed worlds within the British establishment. The law, publishing, the health service, the nuclear power industry, the church. To all of these, Phyllis brings a sharp forensic eye. For a conservative peer, she takes a pretty radical approach to the institutions that are the pillars of the UK establishment. And that's partly because her concern here is not with the overtly political. She's interested in the world of work and how people operate there, about their relationships, about how they work together. A further 2 novels feature the private eye Cordelia Gray, who is about as different from the American hard-boiled girls like V.I. Warshawski and Kinsey Milhone as it's possible to be. 2 standalones, Innocent Blood and Children of Men, explore the complex moral issues that often engage Phyllis. But that did not stop The Children of Men becoming a successful Hollywood movie. She's also written non-fiction, as Mark was saying there, the most recent of which, Talking About Detective Fiction, is a must-read for anyone who's seriously interested in the genre that we're all here to celebrate. She's been garlanded with more awards than I have time to run through here. Among them her Life Peerage, 7 honorary doctorates, 4 honorary Oxbridge Fellowships, 2 Silver Daggers, the Diamond Dagger and the Mystery Writers of America's Grand Master Award, and, what Mark was talking about again, what I suspect is one of her personal favourites, the Nick Clark Sony Radio Award for the Interview of the Year. I've been reading her work for the best part of 40 years, but still she has the capacity to surprise and delight me. Now, it's customary when we're talking about female luminaries of this genre to talk about them as queens of crime. But I think P.D. James goes beyond that. She is, I believe, the queen mum of crime. Not just because of her longevity, but because of the place she has in the hearts of those who know her. We respect her achievements, her charm, and her shrewdness. She's gracious and witty, but don't let that fool you into thinking she's a fluffy old lady. She's as sharp as a tack, and there's still a real ferocity of passion that burns in her. In spite of her years, she remains generous with other writers, and she's loyal to her friends. She is terrific company, and has better war stories than most of the young bloods you'll find hanging around the bar tonight. I can think of nobody who deserves an outstanding contribution to Crime Fiction Award more than P.D. James. Phyllis, up to the stage, please.
can I possibly say except thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel very proud and also very humble. You know, by the time your 91st birthday is approaching, you tend to feel all the great events of life you've enjoyed. And there have been wonderful events throughout my long life. But now there's tonight, a great red letter day. I'm so proud to be here. I'm just delighted, for all sorts of reasons, that this is a conference of crime writers themselves, their publishers, everyone to do with it, publicists, agents, readers, new writers, established writers, and all of us are here because we love the genre, which I think has given more pleasure, more entertainment, and more reason to think than any other. I say to these new writers, and especially to the prize winners tonight, and especially, of course, even to the shortlist, you won't win the Booker. I'm afraid, don't worry about that. The Booker doesn't recognize, you know, genre writing. It would never have given a prize, for example, for Jane Austen for Pride and Prejudice, nor to Henry James, of course, for The Turn of the Screw. That would be a genre book. But you will be giving, in practicing your craft to the best of your ability, you will be giving delight, entertainment, and relief from all the problems of this life to millions of people all over the world. And you are doing that now. And I think those of us who write crime fiction are just so fortunate and so blessed that we do. So thank you for being here. It's lovely to be back in this wonderful town. I remember the last event with great, great delight. It's great to have friends here, and I have friends here with me to celebrate with me. I'll never, never forget this evening. And just, I love you all, and thank you very, very much. I'd just like to say one other thing. Adam Dalgleish from now on will be drinking no other beer than Old Peculier.